Hello, boys and girls, probably not. But today we have something exciting. We have an analysis of a paper lead business, right? And for those of you who don't know what paper lead is, right, it is so simple. You're gonna think you've been wasting your life on the retainer model. I mean, for God's sake, you for a retainer model, as you would know, you're cramping your hours in working 13, 14 hours just to make sure your clients are happy and paying you 1 to 2K, which is a fair amount of money, right? Like I would also want to have some interactivity, not be ghosted if I pay you like 2K. But they're basically pretending you're their bitch if they're paying you 2K, right? Like they own you. Well, some clients, not all. And how to escape that cycle and actually leverage your skills of, for instance, marketing and lead gen, as well as media buying, right? What you do, very simple. Stop selling to local businesses, start selling to corporate businesses, right? Corporate business that have millions in marketing spend and a few 100,000 in marketing spend and are willing to pay you per qualified lead. So take out all of this AI agency nonsense, right? Obviously you can still have some automations in the background, but all they want is a good number and a good email and a person with a level of qualification that suits their customer base, right? And I'll be walking you through this example right this minute in the business loan vertical. That's an interesting one. Um, and one of the leaders in the business loan is this specific brand. And what you do in Paper Lead is you set up like a brand, like My Business Loan Companion. You don't need to be genius fit to figure that out. ChatGPT, a logo takes another 5 minutes. Set up a Meta business account takes like 1 hour 90 minutes or something like that, right? And then you do some ads and you want to basically make variations of existing winning ads that are in the ad library and just make a twist to them, and usually they work pretty well, right? Because they're proven concepts. So after you do that, you build a funnel, and you might ask yourself, okay, after I generate a lead of Meta for a business loan for 20 bucks, right? What do I do? Well, to generate a qualified lead, you don't either you can make an instant form with disqualifiers, and what that means is if they choose a certain aspect, right? For instance, that they're doing 10K revenue per month, and your customer, the client who wants to buy the lead, he's not happy with somebody who has such a tiny business. You want somebody large, right, with 600K annual revenue, 50K revenue, right? So what you do is you make them choose, and specifically you make them choose basically the criteria to qualify themselves. So let's say your client is looking to buy sole proprietorship, LLC, and partnership. So you click on that. Okay, you pretend I'm a lead, right? I'm clicking on that, and you want people that are making at least 50K and want to at least loan out 100 grand. So you choose that. Okay, that's a qualified lead if they're choosing that because they want to loan out 250, right? And the buyer only wants people who loan out 100,000. Loan purpose doesn't really matter, age of business. So they really want some proof of concept. Usually these buyers in the lenders, so your clients who are going to be paying for these verified customer opportunity, aka the leads, right? So they want people that have a proven business concept, and usually the criteria is more than 12 months. So do not, if you're picking that, you're probably as a smaller business and they disqualify you, so they do not want that lead. So if you click on here, right, and you go back and you click on annual revenue somewhere around 500 to 100,000, 1 million, you're probably a good lead because you're making enough money, the business is a proven concept, and the lender then will take a look and see, okay, this guy is making bank, he just needs a bit of capital for to scale because of like a Christmas order, right? He needs to buy some more shoes, some more labubus, whatever it is. So he wants that lead basically because he qualifies for certain aspects. And the buyer, he's a corporate business, so he knows exactly what kind of customers he wants, and he's going to give you those criterias. And you kind of match the funnel to determine you match the funnel to his criterias to determine those eligible and qualified leads that the buyer also wants to buy, right? Because if you're generating them for 20, you can sell them for 40 or 50 bucks, sometimes even 75 bucks if the economics of the buyer makes sense, if they're making enough money from your leads and converting them at a good percentage. right? So usually they take like people over 600 in credit score, right? You don't want to somebody with poor credit scores. That means the lender, when they lend out their money to somebody, right, a business with poor credit score, likelihood of them not paying back the loan is high. So they do not want those customers, right? So they want good leads with good credit scores. Doesn't matter, accommodations, whatever it is. And here you basically fill out your zip code, some personal information like your phone number, email address, and then this information is shot straight into the lead buyer's CRM or delivered via Google Sheet. You can usually give them an email notification and SMS notification to remind their sales reps, right? Make an automation and go high level to fire that off. But in most cases, the best practice for those, like, you can give that as an option, is to make an automated AI call to the salesperson. So when a lead comes in, they just get a call and, oh my God, yes, a lead is coming in, because the likelihood of them missing a call is like very slim, right? So that's the whole. So pretend I am a lead, right? And I just want to make sure you guys understand that your clients, the companies that are buying these leads, they want good customers, good qualified customers. Now, somebody with a bad credit score, right? They're going to cause a lot of troubles, probably not going to be able to repay their loans. So if you click poor and then you fill out the information, like whatever it might be, right? Like some weird stuff, doesn't really matter what. And then you basically fill out a random phone number and your email, right? Then basically what it's going to do is going to disqualify you. We couldn't find a lender, but you still have options. Now, this is the very interesting part, because there are gonna people obviously having a bad credit score and clicking here. But these companies, these lead gen paper lead companies, still find a way to basically monetize these unqualified customers, right? Because, for instance, they have like these other offers they have, right? Like a business credit card for people who have a bad credit score, right? So they probably have a deal with a credit card company on the side to monetize these bad leads still, right? So even though they do not qualify for the business loan, they still might qualify for a credit card. So if you click on apply now, it's just gonna go to their website, Capital One, that is. So you know that Capital One is basically paying this lead gen provider for each single click or each single registration from their traffic site. So basically, the high level pay per lead companies, what they also do is they monetize disqualified traffic, people that they cannot really sell to, but they still find other buyers, right? So basically, the advertising money is not really wasted, because you're still paying $100 for 1,000 people to view your ads, which is a lot, right? But essentially, how this business models basically compares to retainer is that it's way more scalable, because these business loan companies, right, if they're able to fund somebody for 500,000, they get probably, a huge amount of that is profit. Like, not a huge amount, but like 10% is definitely profit, right? So if they close somebody off who's coming from your traffic source, right? Imagine they paid like $100 per lead, right? For a good qualified lead. That's usually for somebody above 600 in credit score and like $20,000 in revenue, right? They have a proven business, so to say, and they are just looking to scale. These kinds of companies, they can make a hefty commission on these business loans, right? So if you make them like 50K profit on a single deal, they're gonna end up wanting to buy a lot of leads from you. And let's say you're generating the leads, in the best case, you're generating them for $30 and then you're selling them at 100 for a fat $70 margin. And all you have to basically do is make sure that you know what kind of ads to run. And that's not really easy to do, right? Because to get a lead like that, it takes some testing, a lot of ad creatives actually, And what I do suggest here is probably go onto the ad library to see which kind of creatives are already working within this industry, and just picking, not directly copying it, putting it into Nano Banana and kind of twisting it into your own concept or your own brand, right? But you basically try to understand why this advertisement is working good. What is the visual concept? Why is it good getting these results? Is it catchy? Is it like really aggressive but an ugly advertisement? Right? Because for every single different industry, a different type of advertisement seems to work better. So in business loans, what works right now really well, for instance, is just like AI, not AI, but you have B-roll ads and you have like captions on the B-roll, right? It's a bit harder to explain, but I can just show you 1 second. Right, so these kinds of ads work insanely well for some reason. They're super easy to do, and the background, like the American anthem going on. I have no idea why they work, but they just do work, right? I'm using this AI tool that's called GetHooked.ai, and it basically kind of also scores the advertisement based on how long they've been running and how much they're basically generating. I don't know how the score is determined. All I know is it's like 70-80% correct, and you can kind of estimate it from the runtime, because the longer an advertisement is running, the better it's performing. Because you're not gonna spend 67 days and like $100,000 on your on an advertisement that's not working, right? So hopefully you learned something from today's lesson, and then I'll be seeing you soon.